Hello students, very good morning to all. Hope you are doing well. So students, previously we have seen that or in our previous video lectures we have seen that how to measure a curved line. Okay, how to measure a straight line, it is very easy by you can see by a measuring tape or by a measuring scale you can easily measure it, but little tricky part was there to measure a curved line. We have already discussed that part in our previous classes. Now students, today we are going to discuss a very important portion. This is the last portion of the chapter, which is motion. Okay, so let us discuss about motion. So what is motion? What is the definition of motion? So basically motion refers to change in place or position of an object. Okay, so it is basically a change in place or position of an object. So if this is object A, okay, at this place, okay, at this place, now after a time 1 second it will come into this point. This is place B. So this change in position in a certain interval of time we call it as motion. Okay. So there is an activity. What this activity tells? That make a list of objects around you and classify them as objects at rest or objects at motion. So what you have to find out, that which objects are at rest and which objects are at motion. So your list may consist of a dog, butterfly, house, stone, baby, hands of clock, book, okay, leaves, flying birds. So you have to record your observations. You can see here that book, objects are at rest, book, stone, okay, many objects are there. You can say house, okay, you can say a clock, and objects are objects of motion, hands of a clock. A clock is, you can say, object at rest, but hands of a clock are not at rest because the hands of a clock are moving. It is ticking like this. Okay, so hands of a clock you can write here, objects in motion. You can see here butterfly is also there, objects in motion. Okay, so let me rub this thing. Okay, so I hope the table is very simple. You can do it by yourself. Okay. Okay, next part is there. Let me tell you that what is the basis of your classification. Now you have classified some objects which are at rest and some objects which are in motion, but in what basis you have done the classification? How did you decide that whether an object is moving or not? When we say that an object is in motion, it is always with respect to another object. Obviously we have to take a reference, okay, with respect to other. Okay, let's take an example, that when we say a car is moving on a road, it is moving with respect to the trees, okay, poles on the road, which are not moving. When an object moves, its position with respect to another object changes with time. Now tell me one thing students, that if I ask you that you and your friend, two of you are moving by a car on the road. So if I see you, both of you, then I can tell you that you are moving in the car. That means you are object in motion. But your friend sees you, then he will say what he will see? He will say that you just sit in front of him, okay, or in front of her. Okay, that means you are not moving. So according to your friend, you are object at rest. So it will depend. Okay, so we need to take a reference frame, or we need to do it with respect to some other point. Okay, so this is very important thing, that maybe something is moving to one person, that same thing maybe it is a rest with respect to another person. Okay, now let us discuss very important thing, which is, you can say, types of motion. What are the types of motion? So there are basically 3 to 4 types of motions are there. So let us discuss this point, types of motion. We have seen a number of objects in motion. Though all these objects are moving, their movement pattern is different to each. Okay. For example, movement of an ant is not same as that of running car, obviously. Okay. So by seeing the movement, we divide our motions into few categories. Okay. So what are the categories? First one is, you can say that translatory motion or translation motion. Okay. Now let us discuss this translatory motion, that a car or a ball moves as a whole. Okay, all their parts moves to the same direction, same distance in the same interval of time. This type of motion is called translatory motion. So translatory motion means what? When the object moves as a whole and the body parts or the parts that are included to the object, they also moves as a whole, then we call it as translatory motion. Now translatory motions are basically two types: rectilinear motion, okay, and curvilinear motion. So let us discuss these two. So what do you mean by rectilinear motion? Rectilinear motion means you can say that this is a straight line motion also. So when a body moves in a straight line, it is said to be rectilinear motion. As simple as that. If you go in a straight line, your motion will be rectilinear. Very simple. Okay. For example, a car is moving on a straight road. Okay, bullet shot from a gun. March past of soldiers in a parade. You can see here a car is moving on a straight road. So it is obviously a rectilinear motion. It is written here. March past, obviously soldier must pass in a straight way. Okay. So these are the examples of rectilinear motion. Rectilinear motion, in other words, you can say rectilinear motion as straight line motion also. Okay. Now let us discuss the next part, which is curvilinear motion. Okay. So what do you mean by curvilinear motion? Curvilinear motion means when a body moves along a curved line or curved path, it is said to be in curvilinear motion. What are the examples? If a car moving on a curved road, then we call it as curvilinear motion. You can see that the road is not straight, it is curved. Okay. So if a car is moving in this road, you can easily call it that curvilinear motions takes place. Or a ball thrown upward at an angle. If the ball is thrown upward at an angle or a curved line, then we call it as curved line motion. Okay. Next one, we can call it as circular motion. Okay. Circular motion means what? That a motion in which a body moves about a fixed axis without changing its position, it's called a circulatory motion or circular motion. It is also known as rotatory motion. Okay, so circular motion, a very good example, very common example, very familiar example of circular motion is the fan, that all of us are using a fan. Now summertime is there. Okay, so we have to use the fan. Now the fan, what will happen? The blades of a fan, a fixed point is there at the middle, and these are the blades of the fan. Okay, so these blades are rotating in a circular way. Okay, now the main thing is there, main characteristics is there, that this is blade number 1. Now after a certain interval of time, this blade number 1 will come to this position again. Okay, that means it will follow its path again and again and again. Okay, so this type of motion we call it as circular motion or rotatory motion. Examples are there: switch on an electric fan. So the blades of the fan start moving in a circle about a fixed axis. Okay, so this is a very good example of circular motion. Okay. Now let me tell you one thing, that if we make a point anywhere on the blades of the fan, then the distance of the point from the center of the fan will remain the same when they rotate. Okay, so some examples of circular motions are, now in fiber to fabrics you have read about charkha, spinning clock, potter switch, okay, ceiling fan, wheels of a moving bicycles. All these are examples of circular motions. Okay, so what we have read about, you can say, straight line motion or rectilinear motion. We have read about curved motion, okay, or circular motion. So three kinds of motions till now we have read. Okay, just have a look. What are the three kinds of motion? You can see here, first of all we have read about, you can say, rectilinear motion. These are the parts of translatory motion. So rectilinear motion, then we have read curvilinear motion, then we have read circular motion, and lastly we are going to read periodic motion. So what do you mean by periodic motion? So periodic motion means what? That if an object repeats its motion after a fixed interval of time, this type of motion is called periodic motion. So what are the characteristics of this kind of motion? That it will repeat its motion after a fixed interval of time. Okay. For example, the motion of a clock pendulum. All of you have seen the clock pendulum. So the clock pendulum, actually a bob is there like this. Okay, so it will move like this way. Okay, to and fro motion. Okay, so this motion we can call it as periodic motion. The motion of a swing, the motion of earth around the sun, okay, strings of a guitar, the needle of a swing machine moves up and down, okay, needle of a swing machine moves up and down like this, okay. So all these things are a kind of periodic motion. So students, we have read about all the motions. We have read about straight line motion, we have read about, you can say, periodic motion, we have read about circular motion, okay. So all the motions we have read. Now what we are going to do? So basically what you have to do, you have to read these kinds of motions and you have to differentiate them, okay. This question will come generally in your examination, that differentiate between straight line motion and circular motion, or straight line motion or periodic motion. So what you have to do, you have to write down the characteristics, okay. Now few questions are there, I hope you can do it by yourself. Now let me discuss one very important thing. This is the last part of this chapter, that combination of motions. We have discussed a motion which is circular, we have discussed a motion which is straight line, we have discussed a motion which is periodic. But what will happen, students, if we combine 2 or 3 motions together? Then what will happen, or how we can combine? So let us discuss this, that an object can have more than one kind of motion at the same time. At the same time, an object can have more than one kind of motion. Now have you ever observed closely the motion of a ball on the ground? The ball rolls as well as moves forward. So what will happen? The ball will rolls itself and it will goes forward, okay. So you can easily find out that 2 kinds of motions are there, okay. It will roll himself and it will goes upward direction or front direction, okay. So 2 kinds of motions are there. Thus the ball undergoes a rectilinear motion as well as rotational motion. So the ball first of all rotates, so you can call it as rotational motion and it will goes forward direction. So rectilinear motion is there. So this is nothing but a combination of 2 kinds of motion, which is rectilinear motion as well as rotational motion. Similarly, the earth rotates on its own axis and at the same time it revolves around the sun in a circular path. You can see here the rotation of earth, you can see here by its own axis like this and around the sun also, okay. So there are also 2 kinds of motions are there, or you can say in other words that there are also combinations of motions are there, okay. So students, I hope you have understood this part. So that's all for the chapter, students, okay. So in this chapter we have read very important things. So what you have to do, you have to read the chapter properly and you have to correlate the things with the picture. So that's all for today's video lecture, students. Next class we will start a new chapter. Thank you.